Dad, oh, what a...
As new questions are raised about the role of two major banks in the Enron shady accounting scandal. A double hit for seniors. Promises of Medicare prescription drug coverage are evaporating as rapidly as retirement savings. A newborn found dead. Planned Parenthood resists police efforts to find out who the mother might have been. And a symbol of America has a new home in a most unlikely place.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. Wall Street's summer markdown sale was extended another day, but investors still are not ready to buy, especially after more new corporate accounting questions arise. After an antsy up and down session during the day, the Dow finished with a loss of 82 points. If there's any good news, it was the smallest loss for the blue chips in a week, double digits today instead of triple. As CBS's Anthony Mason reports, the market decline this day was led by two major financial institutions suddenly accused in the notorious Enron accounting scandal.
The gravity of pessimism pulled the markets down again today.
We're still in a self-feeding frenzy, I think.
The country's two biggest banks, accused of aiding Enron's accounting fraud, led the decline. Citigroup fell 15%. J.P. Morgan Chase lost 18%. Together, they accounted for 2/3 of the Dow's 80-point plunge.
Psychology is very tender at this juncture, and investors are selling first and asking questions later.
But a Senate committee was asking questions today, charging the two banking giants with loaning billions to Enron, then helping the company hide the debt to make its earnings look bigger.
The evidence indicates that Chase and Citigroup not only understood Enron's accounting goal, but designed and implemented the financial structures to help Enron achieve its objectives.
The bank's investigators said loaned Enron money through third-party shell companies. The money would then be forwarded to Enron as prepayment on future delivery of commodities. So Enron could book as revenue what in fact was debt. Investigators even quoted a J.P. Morgan Chase internal email. Enron loves these deals, it says, as they are able to hide funded debt from their equity analysts because they book it as deferred revenue or bury it in their trading liabilities.
If I were Chase, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be ashamed of that email.
Committee Chairman Carl Levin asked one J.P. Morgan Chase banker,
does that embarrass you?
It confuses me as well. I believe it to be inaccurate.
Both banks said they were misled by the now bankrupt energy company.
While we regret our relationship with Enron, we acted in good faith at all times.
But veteran accountants say the banks should at least have been suspicious.
It would appear to me if they didn't cross the line, they were so dangerously close to the line that they should have known better.
For Citigroup, the troubles go even deeper. Its brokerage unit, Solomon Smith Barney, is now under investigation by the U.S. Attorney and the New York State Attorney General's office. With its 15% decline today, Citigroup stock lost $26 billion in value. Dan?
Anthony Mason, thanks. Enron's collapse after double-dealing investors may have started Wall Street's slide, but it was this week's WorldCom bankruptcy that seems to have pushed even the most bullish investors into the bears' gloomy camp. And as CBS's John Roberts reports tonight, it now turns out there were, among some politically powerfully connected people, early signs that WorldCom was in trouble.
The spectacular collapse of WorldCom amid a sea of accounting scandals was no surprise to attorney Ken Vianali. Almost 2 years ago, he filed suit in federal court on behalf of WorldCom shareholders.
We knew back then, back in 2000, this company was cooking its books for its own purposes.
As a federal prosecutor, Vianali helped put junk bond king Michael Milken behind bars. He thought he had a strong case with WorldCom. But on March 29th of this year, even as the SEC was beginning to unravel the depth of the WorldCom fraud, Mississippi Judge William Barber declared the suit without substance and dismissed it.
It's extremely unlikely that shareholders in WorldCom will receive any kind of substantial compensation.
No one is suggesting political influence in the judge's decision, but the case again throws a spotlight on the delicate intersection of politics and big corporations. WorldCom was a business showcase in Mississippi, a state where Republicans have launched a major push to place limits on civil lawsuits. Judge Barber, a Reagan appointee, happens to be the former law partner and cousin of powerful Republican lobbyist Haley Barber, who may run for Mississippi governor. Yet another cousin is the campaign chairman for Republican Congressman Chip Pickering, who received more than $88,000 in campaign contributions from WorldCom or its subsidiaries since the 1996 election campaign.
What you have with all these connections, what you have with WorldCom's political giving, is you just have a cloud over the situation that I think may disturb some people, especially in light of how large the WorldCom collapse was.
It also appears that WorldCom's board of directors either never took seriously or just didn't follow up on the allegations contained in the lawsuit, a fire alarm that attorneys say might have either prevented the entire WorldCom house from burning down or at least saved some of the investors trapped inside. Dan? John Roberts reporting live from the White House. Thanks. Senior Americans who saw retirement savings evaporate in the Wall Street meltdown have another financial headache now. It turns out it was all talk and no action, with the President and Congress again today on passing any version of Medicare prescription drug coverage. CBS's Bob Schieffer looks tonight at the badly fating chances that President Bush and Congress will deliver on their promises and give any kind of help to seniors on this.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Nunemaker.
Remember George Bush during the campaign?
Keeping the promise of Medicare and expanding it to include prescription drug coverage will be a priority of my administration.
Back then, he was saying what Washington has always said: something has to be done to help seniors pay for prescription drugs. Just what senators in both parties were still saying today. Here's a Democrat.
It's time that we make good on the promise of 44 million Americans who rely on Medicare.
It's a good thought. Drugs have become so expensive, seniors can go to places like Mexico and buy American-made drugs cheaper than they can buy them at home. Changing that is complicated because the drug lobby is a powerful force and real relief is expensive. The Democratic plan that senators consider today would cost $594 billion over 10 years. The Republican plan, $370 billion. A plan passed earlier by the House that all sides agree is going nowhere would cost $310 billion. So Washington just talks and does nothing, which is what happened in the Senate today. Democrats said the Republican plan didn't go far enough and defeated it.
The motion is not agreed to.
Republicans said the Democratic plan went too far and defeated it.
The yeas are 48 and the nays are 51.
In the end, all they could promise was to keep trying.
So I hope there will be another day. I hope that the environment can be created so that we can get something done.
They say they'll keep trying, but don't bet on them getting far. Instead, expect Democrats to blame Republicans, Republicans to blame Democrats, and the White House to blame Congress. Seniors, in the meanwhile, just get the shaft. Dan.
Thanks. Bob Schieffer reporting live at the Capitol. Elsewhere on Capitol Hill today, the U.S. Transportation Secretary was still sidestepping and hedging about whether he'll meet the post-9/11 federal deadlines for improving air travel security and what it will take to finally get the job done. CBS News correspondent Bob Orr reports on the scramble by all sides to duck responsibility for this long delay.
After repeatedly promising to meet the year-end deadline for screening all bags for bombs, Transportation Secretary Norman Mineta today accused Congress of underfunding and undermining the mission.
The amount of money Congress is about to approve simply will not support the mandates and the timetables for aviation security that Congress set last fall for TSA.
To some, that sounded like Mineta was making a case for a House bill that would extend the deadline for a year.
Get with the game. Don't buy into this delay that will simply result in more delay in the future.
There is a money gap. The Transportation Security Administration asked for $4.4 billion to complete its hiring of 65,000 security employees and the purchase of some 6,000 explosive detection systems. Congress has cut the request by $1 billion. Now, Mineta warns the only way to meet the deadline is to have passengers pay their own price in delays.
We're going to meet these dates, and we're going to do the baggage screening, but it may slow the process down.
But critics accuse Mineta of running a department that's in disarray,
Last week, he fired TSA Chief John McGaugh.
And now it's this week, it's all the problem with the appropriators that you can't beat any of these deadlines. This is unbelievable to me.
Mineta also hinted at a possible flip-flop on arming pilots. With support in Congress for guns in the cockpit, Mineta said his department now is reconsidering its opposition. Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
An American Muslim activist arrested yesterday in Denver is being held now as a material witness in the investigation of the 9/11 murders, while federal authorities try to determine whether in fact he has ties to al-Qaeda. 36-year-old James Ujama once ran what's described as a militant Islamic website in Britain. Tonight, he's in a federal lockup in Virginia. One official tells CBS News that investigators hope to, quote, squeeze some information out of him, unquote. In the Middle East, Israel says it did not mean to kill civilians in an overnight airstrike, but most of the 15 Palestinians who died were women and children, and President Bush reacted sharply today, calling the Israeli attack a, quote, heavy-handed action that, again, quote, does not contribute to peace. CBS's Richard Roth has more from the Gaza Strip.
Seething with anger and screaming for revenge, Palestinian mourners carried the dead through Gaza. A 2-month-old infant wrapped in a Palestinian flag was the youngest victim of the air attack aimed at Salah Shahada, the Hamas commander Israel called Gaza's most brilliant and brutal terrorist. The 1-ton bomb dropped in darkness leveled Shahada's home in an operation Israel's prime minister hailed as a great success. The death of 14 others, including women and children, and the injuries to more than 100 people, the Israeli military said were unintentional.
We are very sorry for it. We didn't hope for such results.
Palestinians say Israel must have realized the strike on this crowded residential block would kill and injure many. And the cost now, they say, goes beyond the lives lost. Hamas leaders here in Gaza had only just raised the possibility they'd call a stop to suicide attacks. The chilling warning from militants here now is that every Israeli has become a target. Now ruined in this rubble, say diplomats, are steps both sides were taking away from violence.
The attack coincided with the attempt to reach an agreement with the Palestinians for a ceasefire.
Israel says Shahada, here presenting weapons to fighters, was a mass murderer who'd helped engineer a deadly wave of suicide attacks and was planning more. And even as his body was being borne away, the army says it shot and killed 2 more Hamas fighters trying to cross the no man's land into Israel. Richard Roth, CBS News, Gaza.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, Eye on America investigates should pregnancy records stay confidential if they can help police investigate a baby's death. And then later, 82 years old and determined as ever, the Pope steps back onto the world stage.
You know when you're not feeling like yourself. You're tired all the time. You may feel sad, hopeless, and lose interest in things you once loved. You may feel anxious, can't even sleep. Your daily activities and relationships suffer. You know when you just don't feel right. Now here's something you may not know. These are some symptoms of depression, a serious medical condition affecting over 20 million Americans. While the cause is unknown, depression may be related to an imbalance of naturally occurring chemicals between nerve cells in the brain. Zoloft, a prescription medicine, works to correct this imbalance. When you know more about what's wrong, you can help make it right. Only your doctor can diagnose depression. Zoloft is not for everyone. People taking medicines called MAOI shouldn't take Zoloft. Side effects may include dry mouth, insomnia, sexual side effects, diarrhea, nausea, and sleepiness. Zoloft is not habit-forming. Talk to your doctor about Zoloft, the #1 prescribed brand of its kind. Zoloft. When you know more about what's wrong, you can help make it right.
The reason you see so many new Oldsmobiles in traffic is because tens of thousands of people continue to buy them. And for a limited time, qualified buyers can get great 0% APR financing on every new 2002 Oldsmobile, plus the confidence of a 5-year, 60,000-mile General Motors protection plan. Are you in the market? Get in an Oldsmobile, backed by GM.
Gotta go right now. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Gotta go,
gotta go right now. Gotta go.
I have got to go now.
If you've always got to go, ask your doctor about Detrol LA. It's been proven effective for overactive bladder.
Need a break? Not right now.
You shouldn't take it if you have stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems. The most common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, abdominal pain, and headache.
And I don't have to go right now.
Detrol LA, when you've always got to go.
Ever wonder what's in a bottomless bucket of crab? Well, maybe a whole lot more than you thought. Red Lobster's bottomless bucket of crab. All the hot, steamy snow crab legs you can eat. Now at Red Lobster.
Thinking about Nexium, today's purple pill? Good. But don't just think about Nexium. Talk to your doctor about it. Find out if Nexium is right for you. Nexium, it's today's purple pill.
America's western wildfires took aim today at some of the oldest, biggest, and most famous trees on Earth. A 38,000-acre fire in California came within 2 miles of the giant sequoia trees, forcing out more than 1,000 people in and around the world-famous redwood forest. Some of these trees are more than 200 feet tall and are well over 1,000 years old. A question in the news is this: how far may the police go to investigate the death, the possible murder of a baby? Does Planned Parenthood have any right to resist turning over pregnancy records that might help the police? CBS's Mika Brzezinski looked into both sides of this growing controversy for tonight's Eye on America.
Storm Lake, Iowa has always been about as tranquil a place as you can imagine, until it became the scene of a terrible crime.
The baby was approximately 24 to 48 hours old.
The body of a tiny baby discovered in the trash at the local recycling center.
The infant went down a chute into what would be a dumpster.
The sheriff, desperate to find the mother, subpoenaed the records of all pregnancies from the local Planned Parenthood. And that's when the tempest came to Storm Lake.
We thought this couldn't be true. Certainly they don't want to invade the privacy of almost 1,000 women in this small rural town.
Jill June, president of Planned Parenthood in Iowa, says she's ready to do time to protect her clients from a chilling scenario.
And imagine the knocks on the door. I see you were pregnant 3 months ago. Where's the baby? If you had a miscarriage, prove it. If you had an abortion, prove it. Produce the child for the police to see.
We're at a dead end.
But to District Attorney Phil Havens, those records represent the last hope to solve this grisly crime.
I can't bring the baby back to life, but I do want to seek justice for the baby, and we do that through criminal prosecution.
But don't we have a duty to protect people's privacy?
Privacy is not an absolute right. The law is that if the rights of society are greater or weightier, then those rights should prevail.
And so this tiny town finds itself the flashpoint in a debate that could have national implications. The pursuit of justice versus a patient's right to privacy.
And if they can do this to the women in Storm Lake, Iowa, then they can do it to any woman in America.
Do you understand their argument, though, that a baby is dead and we're trying to solve the crime?
Yes, we understand it, but what they've asked us to do is wrong.
This baby had no contacts in the world other than with this mother. And if we can't talk with potential mothers, we can't investigate this crime.
The crime will continue to haunt this community. The controversy is destined for the Iowa Supreme Court and could impact the privacy of patients far beyond the borders of this small town. In Storm Lake, Iowa, I'm Mika Brzezinski for Eye on America.
Do you know the warning signs of osteoporosis? Unfortunately, there aren't any. That's why I got a bone density test. It's quick and painless.
Ask your doctor about a bone density test and if Fosamax Once Weekly is right for you. Fosamax Once Weekly is for postmenopausal women at risk for or with osteoporosis. It's proven to help reverse bone loss. You should not use Fosamax if you have certain disorders of the esophagus, are unable to stand or sit upright for 30 minutes, have severe kidney disease or low blood calcium. Use with caution if you have stomach or digestive problems. Stop taking Fosamax and tell your doctor if you develop new or worsening heartburn, difficult or painful swallowing, or chest pain, because these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems.
Why wait? Ask your doctor about a bone density test.
Fosamax once weekly, proven to help reverse bone loss.
Daddy?
Hey,
Why are you eating my Cheerios?
they help lower Daddy's cholesterol. They're good for Daddy's heart.
Ah.
Whole grain oat Cheerios is the only leading cold cereal clinically proven to help lower cholesterol in a low-fat diet.
It's a cholesterol thing.
There is a rhythm to life. We sleep at night and wake in the morning. It's this sleep cycle that helps keep us in a healthy balance. But for millions of Americans, sleep doesn't always come easy. Fortunately, there's Ambien. Ambien is a prescription sleep aid that can help you get a full night's sleep. While natural sleep is best, Ambien helps you fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and wake rested and refreshed, not groggy the next morning. No wonder Ambien is the #1 prescribed sleep aid in America. Until you know how Ambien will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Side effects may include drowsiness, dizziness, and diarrhea. You shouldn't take it with alcohol. Patients who abuse prescription sleep aids may become dependent. Prescription sleep aids are most often taken for 7 to 10 days as needed. Your doctor will advise you about taking them longer. Take Ambien only when you can devote a full 7 to 8 hours to sleep and wake rested and ready to start your day. Talk to your doctor about Ambien. Ambien works like a dream.
The most traveled pope in history opened an ambitious new journey today in Toronto. And as CBS's Alan Pizzi reports, the frail and ailing leader of the world's Roman Catholics began by showing the strength of his own spirit.
In a display of vigor not seen for some time, Pope John Paul II walked slowly down the steps of the plane that brought him on the first leg of one of his longest ever pilgrimages. There had been concerns that fading health might curtail activities on his 97th foreign trip, but the 82-year-old Pope seems to draw strength from being among young people. Reading his arrival speech in an unusually strong voice, the Pope set the theme for World Youth Day.
Reminding all Christians to be salt of the earth and light of the world.
So far, only 200,000 young pilgrims have registered for the 5 days of religious celebration, far fewer than had been hoped for. Vatican officials attributed the shortfall to fears about terrorism. The trip also comes as the scandal over sexual abuse by priests is spreading from the U.S. to Canada. Nonetheless, young people have arrived from 170 countries, drawn as much by the man as the event, a fact the Canadian Prime Minister noted in his welcoming speech.
We have a truly inspiring example of personal commitment.
But John Paul II also has arthritis and Parkinson's disease, and for the first time in his 24-year papacy, will take a break before the main event. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Toronto.
Cholesterol-lowering statin drugs can help prevent heart attacks and strokes, but a new study out tonight finds more than 60% of older patients stop taking them within 1 year. Researchers are not sure why, and now there may be a new reason to take statins. 3 new studies suggest the drugs also reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. You're getting your news tonight from the fiercely independent hard news outfit, CBS, and up next, moving from the country to the big city.
You could win one of 5 new Jaguars from Best Western or one of thousands of other great prizes in Best Western Sleep and Win Instant Win Game. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain. Call 1-800-WESTERN today.
I like to shop every day. 8 a.m. sharp, Sal's Fruit Market. Oh, he's got the best tomatoes in town. When I started chemo, my doctor said that I might become anemic, maybe feel weak. I never expected to be too tired to make it to Sal's. The day that he had to deliver my order was one of the saddest days of my life. Thank you, Sal. I asked my doctor about Procrit.
Procrit is for chemotherapy-related anemia in patients with most kinds of cancer. If you're on chemotherapy and too tired to do the things you used to do, talk to your doctor about Procrit to regain red blood cells. And more red blood cells can mean more strength.
Welcome back, Mrs. Mantini.
Procrit is proven and safe. In studies, only diarrhea and edema occurred more often with Procrit than placebo. Call now and learn how Procrit can help you get back the strength you need. Your strength for living.
Buying fresh takes a little more energy, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
I'd like someone to explain why carrying a 5-pound baby means I'm now 30 pounds heavier. Putting on socks has become an aerobic activity for me. Well, there's only one thing to do. Wear dark colors. Instead of a bus, I can look like a minivan. But when you wash them, they can end up with clumps of powder on them.
Finally, there's a powder detergent that won't leave all that residue. New Quick Dissolving Tide leaves all your clothes looking great.
I can't wait to see my feet again.
New Quick Dissolving Tide.
When my doctor said Zocor was right for me, I stayed with it. Ask your doctor if Zocor could work for you. Zocor. Be there.
Yes, let's stay together.
There's hot summer savings going on now at your hometown Brand Source store. Shop today and save on name brand appliances, electronics, home furnishings, and mattresses. There are hundreds of Brand Source stores across America for your shopping convenience. For the best service, selection, and value, go to the source. Brand Source. Get hot summer savings for a limited time at your area Brand Source store. Your neighborhood appliance, electronics, and home furnishings expert.
She was thought to be missing but turned up safe in Seattle. The cost of the search and who neighbors think should pay for it. At 6 o'clock.
New York City has some unusual new residents, the first of their kind here in over a century. They have deep roots in this country. Soon you'll find them in high branches here in this city. CBS's Jim Axelrod reports on the out-of-towners.
Let's say you were making a list of great places to raise a bald eagle. Where would you put New York City?
Oh, I think a great number of people thought it's a crazy idea.
But in 200 acres of forest on the northern tip of Manhattan, the city's Parks Department thinks it's found the perfect spot.
A lot of people believe in urban settings that wildlife should be elsewhere. The reality is this is a phenomenal habitat for many species.
4 bald eagles have been relocated from Wisconsin. At first glance, it looks like home. But look again at the surrounding area. It might explain why the experts kept the eagles' heads hooded for most of the trip.
We assume that they like being loners and they like being far away from humans, when in fact to them it's irrelevant.
It's only been a month, but already the eagles are quintessential New Yorkers, having arrived from somewhere else to spend long days circling prey, retiring to the cage at night, and waiting for the delivery man to show up with dinner.
Fish.
Of all the transplants to New York in the last year, you'd be hard-pressed at this point to find a more fitting group.
You can't deny the symbolism of the bald eagle in this particular year. You know, it's a magical thing. It is one of the reasons we have symbols.
There is one possible New York ending the Eagles' keepers wouldn't like. There's always the chance if the birds make it here, they'll fly off, knowing they can make it anywhere. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, New York, New York.
Welcome, neighbors. The return of the eagle, part of our world tonight. Dan Rather inviting you to join us again tomorrow for the CBS Evening News. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, go to cbsnews.com. AOL keyword CBS News. CBS News, nominated for 26 Emmy Awards. Experience CBS News.
Straight ahead on Coin 6 News at 6, a Lake Oswego teenager admits she wanted her family and the police to think she was violently abducted tonight. Sarah Roberts speaks out about the disappearance she faked and the trust she betrayed.
Too young to retire, too old to shift gears. Tonight, what baby boomers can do about their retirement now that Wall Street is taking a major hit.
Plus, crop circles, real or just a hoax? Coin 6's Randy Quaren investigates and comes up with a surprising theory. Coin 6 News at 6 starts now.
Now, with Jeff Gianola and Mike Donahue, this is Coin 6 News at 6.
Welcome to Coin 6 News at 6. I'm Mike Donahue.
And I'm Jeff Gianola. Tonight, she says it was all a big mistake. The girl whose disappearance launched a massive search says she's sorry.
I would like to take this time to say how sorry I am to my family, friends, and community. I want to say thank you to all law enforcement agencies and their families for putting their efforts forth.